And we are
live, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Greetings, most honorable listeners and masters of the martial arts. I am Travis.
And I'm Chris.
And this is CTE, and this is going to be an experience, the Chris and Travis experience. Not a lot of energy at the top of this because, you know, if you were in the sport karate world, you know we lost, in my opinion, the greatest sport martial arts fighter of all times this weekend. It was a somber event. So, you know, we always start off with music. So, got to start off with some music. And,
it's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
yes, rest in peace, Steve Nasty Anderson. Always will be very influential in
Everything that we do, sport karate related. You don't blitz without knowing about Nasty. You don't
the heavyweight that's moving,
angles, speed, power, dedication, 100%.
Yes, making people be athletes, not just
a skilled technical fighter, but you had to have the whole deal to fight Nasty. You had to have size, you had to have tenacity, you had to have aggression, you had to have offense, defense, you had to have an IQ. Yeah, like Travis said, you know, if not arguably the greatest of sport karate fighter ever, like Steve Anderson, like
Nasty Anderson in the house, going live.
So, one of the crazy things I did today, I was just looking for like just videos of him talking or just having some of his insight, and I found some on his page, his Facebook page, that he had went live 2 years ago. And for Ben's,
I remember that. For Ben's business.
Yeah. And so he had a few things on here, and I'm throughout the whole pod, I'm going to play. I'm not going to play them all right now. Let me go with this one. Hold on, I got to cue it up. Cause it was just, it's one that I'm like, yo, I don't know if I want to play it, but hold on,
True American. I'm a true American, and I'm figuring out ways to win at all costs. I don't really care. I don't really care what people think. I don't really care what they think after the match is over with or during the match. I'm going to do what's necessary to come out the victory. You got to understand about winning and losing and being a champion. This is what is being a champion, Luca. This is what it is. 20 years after you won that tournament and everybody booed you at and hated you for winning, 20 years afterwards, they don't even remember it. 1 year after it, they don't even remember it. 6 months after it, they don't even remember it. 1 month later, they don't even remember what you did to win. They don't even remember it at all. Nobody cares. This is why with us, when we have our workers out there.
So that was one thing, like, yo, and in one of I don't know if I had earmarked one of the clips that he was talking about, how Americans love to compete and like win. He's like, let's win at all costs. And if you're not cheating, you're not trying. You're not
cheating, you're not trying, man. He used to do that. Well, he used to come to our school. We did come to our school and did seminars, and that was it. And that man left a everlasting impression, obviously on karate and on sport karate, but like the little things that he said and the little things that he did, we thought we weren't, when the first time he ever came to our school, I was probably 7 and I knew who he was. I traveled around and done a couple of tournaments. So I was all geeked up and ready to go. My instructor goes, I don't know, you should come to this. His name's Nasty for a reason. He's going to say some stuff that might not be appropriate for children. My mom said, my kid can go. So I'm expecting to hear some stuff. And it was hit him first. What happens? Hit him first. Yep. What happens? Hit him first. What happens? Hit him first. And it reminded me of that. When I read Avery's message that he hit him with. Yeah. That, like I saved it. Like I saved it. I saved it on my phone. Go ahead and read it, man. Just the gems, was out of the blue, bro. The gems that were dropped here, and this was after a training session in New York. No,
that's what's crazy.
No, they did a session. Yeah, then he went home, and then
But it was like months or a year later. It was just out of the blue. He just sent it to him.
Man, listen. Some advice: only fight good fighters when you have to. Train every holiday during the year, even if you miss another day. Don't fight top fighters at local tournaments. Just don't fight that day. Never get angry at other fighters. Get even. Try not to counter punch or kick. That means you're doing something that someone made you do. Also, somebody else got off first. Try to fight at least 60 to 70 times a year.
That is wild.
Listen,
if you fight 60 times a year, that means you're doing more than one tournament a weekend. Because it's 2 weeks in a week. So that means there's an extra 8 tournaments.
Well, he's not talking,
60 to 70 times.
Not fights,
a year.
He said, in California, I once fought 5 tournaments in 1 weekend, won them all.
And I'm still trying to figure out how he pulled that off. Like 5 tournaments. I could see 4. If it's 2 of them, Sunday, Saturday,
morning, afternoon. Like, bro, listen, that's crazy.
Like, wow.
They must have waited for him to get there.
They had to have.
Oh my goodness. I didn't care. A win's a win. Victory comes to those who believe in it most and believes it the longest. Listen, that right there is one of my favorites. And the other one is what we just listened to. I didn't care how I won, didn't care how I looked, didn't care what people thought. I was just there to win. That's it.
No, it's not one more about the experience one.
Yeah, but I didn't have the second piece of it. It's not. Okay. I didn't. Man, listen.
Yeah.
I read that and was just like. Yeah, I agree with 75%.
Because that last one is the one that caught me. Yeah, the one with the experience. I got to pull that part up. Where's the pictures? Come on, Avery. Here we go. Avery, it
was cut off. That's what I'm saying. I saved the direct picture from him and it was cut off. And that's why I was like, I know you seen the quote.
Yeah,
I know you saw it, the whole thing. And I didn't get, so that's why I was like, I knew what you were talking about because I saw it too at AKAs. I'm trying to remember exactly what it said, but we'll have to.
Yeah, I'll text it. I'll text it.
And we'll post it.
But so we don't have some dead air. So talk a little bit real quick.
Yeah, man. So like, it was just absolutely crazy. So we got the news Saturday morning at AKAs.
You did.
I did. You got it Friday night.
Well, I actually didn't. I was actually gone. And so when I got back, I got it Saturday morning. Okay. But what happened was, this is the crazy thing about it.
Because I know it was Friday afternoon.
It was Friday.
Waited until.
So at 2:00, he called my uncle right before Avery had to fight Oscar Guzman. And so my uncle told him, said, hey, Avery's about to fight. And he said, who's he about to fight? he said, Oscar Guzman. And he's like, okay. He's like, Avery got any rivals? And he was like, he got a few people. Yeah, that push him or whatever. He said, all right, I'm gonna call you back later. And later on that evening, he passed away. And I guess he got the phone call that night, I think around 7, something to that effect. And they wanted to keep it quiet.
Absolutely.
And then once, I think his wife posted it.
But when she posted that's when
I text you guys.
Right.
I had found out maybe like 45 minutes earlier. Yeah. And I was like, oh shoot. And I could see it in his face. So I was just kind of like, it's one thing that you could see, that you know somebody and you're hurting, but when you see somebody you love that is hurting and there's nothing you really can do about it, especially this coming so close with KA being they're all that generation, and it's just it's a lot, man. And being influential, because these people are pioneers, and they need to make sure you talk to them, make sure you show them respect.
You know who they are, and you learn a little bit about them.
And the funny thing is, some of the people you're learning from, they learn from them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And to be honest with you, Nasty, whether you guys like it or not, taught a lot of different people, because even if you were competing against him,
you learn from him. You watched his videos, you studied his moves, you try to copy that blitz.
Yep.
That California blitz.
You took that move and you practiced at and you taught it to your students. Way like those things. And like a lot of people don't know where they're coming from. Like you know, some of the juniors may not actually know where it comes from. I'm not gonna call it like
it's just generation.
I'm just saying, the generation. I mean, that's 40 years ago. Like if you really thought about it, like I don't know anybody from the 1940s. Like I don't know the history of, you know, like I'm like, oh, some people do. Yeah. I honestly don't. I wouldn't. You're like, oh, who's Grandmaster in 1940? I'm like, I don't know, man. Mine, let's go back to. I'm in the 80s, and I know about June Reed and,
I got you,
and John Chung and there you go.
I got a couple of them.
That's where I go. I go back to like basically one generation,
one,
two generations before,
1.5. Yeah.
So like I can't necessarily fault the kids
because Chung comes from Ree.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know where you were going.
Yeah, I'm like that. So I know
that's,
that. But
man, that was one of the biggest things that you know, I've been griping about this for years. You know, our activity, our sport, is one of the big things that doesn't push and doesn't allow us to know who our Hall of Famers are, who our past legends are. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this before. I sat in a room with at Cap Classics one year with Nasty, Anthony, Richard, Tony, Terry, EJ, like the who's who of like when I was a child, like, and even as a kid, like they were kind of at the tail end in that spot as a kid. And I watched them with the starriest eyes, and I walk up to tournaments and I'm learning and sitting in the group discussions as quiet as I can, listening and soaking up what I can. And I watch these kids walk past and they don't even know who they are. Yeah. Like, you know, so, you know, kind of going into that, like it was crazy to see that we didn't have a moment.
That was they messed up on that. They completely had a brain fart. They completely did not think about it. I'm not sure. I mean, it was time. I don't think there was a 4-hour finals. You could take 10 seconds to just have a moment of silence.
Even if they should have had one planned for Kevin Thompson. Like it should have been like boom. Yes. And then, you know, everybody got the news. Everybody knew about it. It was one of those things where I walked down to the tournament after I got the news. I saw Mr. Plowden. I saw Mr. Kramer. I just gave as much love as I could. And then Mr. Kramer did one of the most touching katas. I just like, gi top
that
off,
was
t-shirt on.
Crazy to me. Like the fact that he had the shirt with him. So, and on the back, they all signed it.
I know that signature.
You know, signed it.
I have a version of that shirt. My instructor had for his karate tournament. He had everybody sign the shirt in like that kind of way too. So I have one of those like that. And so for him to have that and then to wear that and then just do his kata, and it was just, and you could see the absolute emotion and passion behind everything that was there. Like, I'm about to tear up right now. I'm trying to cheer for him and record it at the same time. And it was just,
it was that Saturday morning was very,
as you said, somber. It was just it was
very somber. It was very, disbelief.
Yeah.
It just, you know, because it hadn't sunk in yet, because it was just like, whoa.
What?
Yeah, everybody's kind of just, we got to get through this. I heard a lot of different stories. People were telling stories about Nasty.
Oh yeah.
There were people were sharing stories and things like that. People
talking with Larry Tankston, Cricket,
and
then
I heard all of them. Those guys come out, and that was good to see Larry that he came out.
Yeah, that was really good to see Larry.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Before we get off this topic, I guess. Let's see. Let me go back to it real quick. Come on. All right, back to competition.
No, that's about competition, bro. We're not there yet.
I'll go to another point and another point in the competition one. All right, hold on, make sure it's turned up.
Trying for the competition, and people do it differently. I'm a big mouth person as far as competition is concerned. I'll tell you how badly I'm going to beat you. I'll tell you how I'm going to slap you. I'll tell you how I'm going to push you. And any of the competitors who are looking at me right now that competed with me know that I did everything I'm talking about. I would go up next to fighters, Max, and buffle. And I would buffle, boom. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But I didn't say that. I do the exact same thing again.
Anthony Price says, and he did that. He did that a lot.
Yeah,
he did.
That was him.
100%. Straight from the horse's mouth, baby.
Yep. All right. So let's go. All right. Let's get into next topic. Well, I guess the first topic.
Oh,
I guess it will.
We're just going to roll into the next one.
I guess unless you got something else.
Nah, we might as well keep it. We might as well just keep it on the same tip.
Yeah, because we'll go into because we're at 16.
Because once we get rolling, it's
once
on.
we start going rolling, it's going to be a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. So let's start off with just the other
tragic news.
Oh, jeez. That was just a heavy weekend, man.
You mean it was a heavy weekend?
It was just a heavy weekend because I was literally packing up to go home, and I for some reason it came. I think I opened up Instagram, and I was getting ready to go, and I opened up Instagram, and I saw like a young lady from DC, and she's like in the news, like she like works for the radio station.
Okay.
So she posted it from TMZ, and I was like, yo, what the heck? And so with hers posting it, I was like, yo, there's got to be some little.
There's got to be something to it.
Yeah, some validity to this. So I sent it. I texted a group chat about that I have that is all about basketball.
Right.
And I texted them like, yo, are y'all seeing this? Is this real? Because none of them had said anything yet.
Right.
And they were like, it's all over social media. We trying to figure out if it's real because CNN and ESPN haven't said anything yet.
Right. Because usually ESPN is
first out the gate was TMZ because it happened like an hour before, and TMZ was just boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this kid. But it being TMZ.
They're usually real reliable on their stuff.
A lot of it's like, yo, and then sometimes they get tricked. But so I was like, but most of the time it's really for them to have put that out. I was just like, yo,
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't get it till after I landed. I got landed and I finally got Wi-Fi and I heard the ping, 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 and I got the ESPN updates, and I was just like, oh, huh?
Yeah.
And I flipped through it, 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 and then like shut my phone down, and like 10 minutes later while I was standing outside waiting for my bag to come, I got the news about the daughter, and it's just like,
yeah.
And then it went from 5 people to 9 people, and it was just,
yeah, it was very somber because he's just like, wait, what?
No,
I don't. Wait
a minute. I literally just watched the Laker game, and they did the thing about how, if LeBron outscored 19 points and he was going to pass, and Kobe was really proud of him, and they were doing the whole thing, and they did this whole big thing the night before about their relationship, and right before the game, the 76er game, and then I get off the plane and just like, what? Hold on.
Insane, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was disappointing. So it was like you start out on Saturday, it's like, yo, and then Sunday you
like,
start out again, like, yo. And honestly, own selfishly, I wish I had learned about it after I landed back in Atlanta, like you did.
Right.
But before I got to fly, and I'm not. I'm not the best flyer in the world, so turbulence hit, and I'm just like, yo, come on, man. Like I was just not and it was a little plane, an older plane, so I was like, man, I was not happy right now.
You had one of them little 2-seater and 2-seater planes too? Like I
it was 2 and 3.
Oh, I had 2 and 3. That's right.
It was 2 and 3. Yeah. It was
I had same one, but I had a newer one, luckily.
Nah, did you have a TV in it?
Nah, I ain't know that.
Yeah,
it wasn't that new. They were like pleather seats though. Like they weren't the old cushiony like terrible seats. They were like pleather and they were like pretty comfy. I was like, oh dang.
I was not happy with that.
But because of the daggone cups.
Oh yeah,
they made me pay for my baggage. They wouldn't let me take.
They said the cup counted
as a personal item.
Oh wow!
And then my backpack was the other item, so I had to check a bag and pay $30. I was mad. Wow. I was like, I'm about to throw the cup in the trash, man.
Yo, man, that's messed up. Yeah. All right. Well, rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
Kobe Bryant.
And
Gianna Bryant
and the 3 family members from the basketball team, the other lady that was a coach, all 9 people that passed away, including the pilot who was still unidentified.
Some of y'all a little sick.
Man, I'm not even going to acknowledge. Some of y'all are some terrible people, man. Y'all need to calm down. It's a tragedy no matter what. You get the news of somebody first, so that's what you main focus on. But nobody is obviously more important than anybody else. But y'all need to stop doing that.
Some of these people are going out blaming the pilot. Like that's just insane. Like just stop. Like just
let the full investigation go. It's a tragedy, man. Just leave it alone. Dude.
I had to stop. I had to get off social media because it was too. I had people sad.
I had seen people talking trash about the pilot. I had seen people talking bad about Kobe after. Like, what do you have bad to say about somebody who just passed? Like, there is nothing bad to say about anybody like that. You're a terrible person. I don't care what is going on in your day. You're a terrible person for picking at and poking at people that have just passed and just lost their lives. Like, let's be human. Let's be civil with one another and let's allow each other to mourn. Like,
why are there 2 cups over there?
Oh, one was Kevin's.
Oh,
he left his.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
And his medal.
We'll get into all of that in a minute. But
yes, we will.
All right, so let's transition over
to the AKA Warrior Cup Grant. No, never mind.
No, we're not going AKA.
Dang, sweet. Nah, where we going? Where we going?
We're going out to Cali.
Oh yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, we're going out to Cali. We're going to
Bellator.
Yep,
Staples Center.
Yep. We talked to so we got to talk about Raymond Real Deal Daniels and his fight.
With his hands behind his back saying, come on, guy, please stand back up.
What did you think of the fight, first off?
Dude was outmatched. Dude didn't want to strike. His only chance was to take him down and submit him to try to get a hold of one of Raymond's long freaking legs. Mm-hmm. He attempted it. Didn't do very well at it. Man, got beat up. I mean, you could tell he wasn't a match for Raymond standing up. He was not.
Yeah.
In an MMA capacity, he was probably a much better grappler. He probably was. He was probably a much better wrestler, but Raymond controls the distance better than most people I've ever seen. With his footwork and his stand-up. So for him to be able to pick him apart, the guy not be able to get close enough, catch an elbow when he did get tied up and then dropped and then continue to keep his distance. I thought Raymond had a perfect plan.
I thought he blocked the takedown pretty well at one point.
The turn, when he turned and stuffed and pulled his leg out. Yeah. That's a typical non-wrestler. Well, head push down, turn the hip, and kick your leg out.
Yeah, but there was one part that I was laughing because Raymond turned around like and was trying to. Dude had grabbed his ankle. He was trying.
When Raymond tried to axe kick him,
he turned around and started running.
Oh yeah. No, that's the takedown. He pushed the head down. Now he had to keep his hand on the head and yank his leg out. But no, that's it. Fool, get out. Let me go.
Yeah, he had his back like and he finally ran up and got like, all right, and then turned back around like, all right, and dude was out on his feet.
Oh, dude was out on his feet after the first blitz, and he dropped, and then he hit him with the elbow off his glove, and it dropped, and then he dropped him with a side kick.
Yeah,
he was trying to take his head off with them spits. And he was. Raymond tried to throw an axe kick.
Did he?
Yeah, he threw the axe kick. That's how the guy went underneath him, and that's how he ended up on the ground. That's how they ended up on the ground. With Raymond doing the long left hand, punching him in the face.
All right. So hold on.
You gonna call him?
Yeah, I'm about to call him now.
All right. Because I'm curious about this. Let me sip my tea.
Hello.
Yo, Gene. How you doing, man?
What's going on?
Nothing much.
Me, Gene. Whoa. Sorry, I had to.
So we just started talking about Ray, man. We just started talking about Raymond and his fight. What did you think of the fight, first off?
What did I think of the fight?
Yeah.
I mean, it was all right. The fight was all right. I mean, he's pretty much, in my opinion, when it comes to MMA, he's an amateur.
Who, you know? Ray or the other guy?
Huh?
Ray or the other guy?
Hey, I'm talking about Raymond. The other guy, I mean, the other guy had like 13 fights. Raymond only has 3.
Yeah.
What was his name? What was his name? Something King. Something King. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his first name.
I think it was like, it might have been like John King or something like that, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm quite sure that he has probably had some amateur fights coming up. Mm-hmm. You know, before he reached the level that he's at now.
Pro, yeah. Most people have to fight. Yeah, most people have to fight 5 amateur fights before you can do a pro fight. Most states,
right? So technically, Raymond is still an amateur when it comes to MMA, even though he's a professional now. But his background, you know, he's still an amateur. But I think I was reading some of the comments, and it seems like a lot of people expected. It's like they kind of, I don't know, they expect him to adapt his fighting style to MMA, and that's not gonna happen.
Nope.
And he shouldn't. You know, he shouldn't. I would suggest that I'm quite sure that, you know, he in his comments he said he has a jiu-jitsu instructor, so I know he's working on his ground game. But if you don't feel confident in going to the ground, I wouldn't have went to the ground either.
Nope. Right. There's no need. There's no point. With somebody who has more experience. That's what I was just talking to Travis about. Yeah. There's no point in him going to the ground with a dude who has more experience just to try to do something different. Yeah. If you're not good enough to get me to the ground, then I'm going to stand up and punch and kick you in the face.
Get up.
Get up.
Well, some of the comments, I'm about to read you some of the comments because one of the guys is, hold on. I want to say his name right because I don't want to say anything that was just, it's Zach Freeman. All right. He's a Bellator MMA lightweight. And so he was in the comments of one of the, I think the Bellator one, and it says, blah, 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 the great Irish beard. That's who he's talking to, this guy who's the great Irish beard. Says, has nothing to do with competition and everything to do with matchmaking. This is just embarrassing to Bellator fighters and anyone trying to make it to the big show. They give RD an easy ass fight to make him look great. Instead, it tarnishes him and the sport in a real fighter's eyes. Let me see. Somebody respond. Northern Fly Fisher. I don't know who that is. It's his second pro MMA fight against a guy who was 8-5. Here's where people mess up good talent or slow down good talent, and that's throwing them to the wolves right away because of their backgrounds in other combat sports. They did the same thing with Aaron Pico, such a talented wrestler and boxer, so they gave him decent guys at this level, and it didn't allow him to find his groove. Just because he goes on about some other stuff. Just because Raymond Daniels has an extensive background in kickboxing doesn't mean he should fight the top of the division in his second pro MMA fight. And the guy comes back. If you think it's okay to match him against the guy he fought, you are part of the sport's problem. Regardless, that was a terrible opponent who literally presented zero danger, not good for the sport. And it goes on.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Thank you.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
I didn't want to just sound like that's my teammate and like that's my homie, but yeah, speak on it.
I mean, just God. But this is somebody coming inside of Bellator who is throwing this out.
He's throwing his own promotion company under the bus by saying my promotion company is making crappy fights. First off, dude would have already been shut up by the company if I was there. Like, I don't get that. You're making your own self and your own company look bad by saying I fight for an organization that makes crappy fights. Why would you even? Never mind.
I don't want to disrespect the fighter that he fought. What was the name of the guy that he fought? Can you look it up?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, he's good though. 8-5 is a good MMA.
That's what record. I'm about to say. He had 8 wins, and if I remember correctly, it said 6 by knockout and 2 submissions.
Right.
Okay. So this dude has been fighting for a while. You can't just disrespect him,
right?
Because of Raymond's style. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Styles make fights. I agree with that. So I agree with what he's saying. Matchups make things happen, but you don't do what they did to Sage. Give him one warm-up fight and then give him a killer in the UFC. You don't do that because now you derail your train. Now you derail progress of people who can find their groove. Man.
Do you know how ridiculous it would have looked if they had put Raymond in a fight against someone else who only had 2 or 3 fights?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He would have killed him. That doesn't make any sense.
No, if they'd have did the Herschel Walker treatment, give him a pro fighter who was 1-1, that would have been absolutely ridiculous. And then I would have said yes. But giving him a guy who has 13 pro fights, probably 3 or 4 amateur fights at the bare minimum, who's been wrestling, who's been doing jujitsu. I think he's like a brown belt in jujitsu. Raymond isn't even a blue belt yet. He is training jujitsu. He has a very good jujitsu coach who competes in the Eddie Bravo, the EBIs.
Okay.
That his jujitsu coach is a no-gi EBI grappler. And like, yeah, I just don't get this dude. I'm a pro MMA fighter and I fought pro MMA fights, and listen, a 0-0 dude who's got D1 wrestling skills took me down, and there's no way I think that dude would have stood up with me. Kickboxing fight, I'd have knocked him out.
All right.
Wrestling, he got me.
I'm about to jump in because this one is kind of interesting, this comment. Because I went through and screenshot a whole bunch of them because they were going down back and forth. And this one, he says, I am not talking... skip it. I am not talking shit either, so please don't take that personally. If you were a professional fighter, you will understand. There are a lot of guys with similar experience who deserve that fight. They instead get passed up for a turd who has absolutely zero chance. The only people that should step on that mat should be vetted and able to truly win the match. Now, here's where I'm like, whoa, 60% of Bellator main card fights are set up and not exactly set up for competition.
Yo, why would you say that about the organization you are fighting in? Who in the world, bro? That's like me telling my job, my manager is terrible, my food sucks, we drop stuff on the floor all the time. Like, who does that and keeps their job? Bro, who does that?
Somebody who's obviously not happy with his employer. Maybe his contract, maybe he's trying to make a jump to UFC. Who knows?
Not with that kind of trash talking about your employer.
And on another one, because he jumps onto another one, but I'm not
same dude.
Yeah, same dude. He's commented on a lot of different people, but somebody just wrote disrespectful SMH, and somebody, Mike Justin, comes back and say, yeah, it's super disgusting. I hate fighters like RD thinking they're the best and can do that. Somebody else said he did do that, embarrassed him while his wife was watching. And then he said, put him in there with a real fighter. That's what Ultra Boy says. He says,
see, I hate that.
What's a real fighter?
Real fighter.
My man's got real wins against other fighters.
When CM Punk started fighting in the UFC, they matched CM Punk up with somebody who was around the same level, like had 2 fights or 1 fight or 3 fights or whatever. And CM Punk lost. You know, CM Punk didn't have any amateur fights. They just threw him in the UFC. You know, so I mean, I don't understand, like, disrespecting that guy. Man, what's his name? Like, I don't want to disrespect
Jason King.
What's his name?
No, that's Jason King is the guy he fought.
Is the guy Raymond fought.
Okay, Jason King.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just disrespectful to him. Just to, you know, I
calling the man a turd,
and all types of disrespectful stuff. And this dude, you can't disrespect him just because of the way that Raymond Daniels beat him. That's not fair to him and his training. That's just not right.
All right. Well, all right. There's, and here's the last. And I'm not. This is off there that steam, so it's not the same. Hey, he gives somebody a real fighter. This one was a little bit different, a little interesting. It says Raymond Daniels should have his pay cut. Procrastinating the fight once is fine, but 3 times.
Oh my goodness,
is ridiculous.
Listen, I could tell when I was watching the fight, I could tell that Raymond knew that this dude was done. He had got hit and he was dazed and he was done.
Yeah, he was.
The ref should have stopped it. The ref obviously thought, because a lot of times when a fight gets stopped premature, the fighter that is dazed or whatever, they put up a fight and say, I wasn't done, I wasn't out, this, that, and the other. So the referee was probably trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but Raymond could probably tell that this dude was out. And also another thing, he was not going to the ground.
No.
There's no rules that say if somebody falls down, you got to jump on top of them and hump them until they get back up or he switches submissions or whatever. That's not a rule.
It's the same people.
Hey, How many times have y'all seen Chuck Liddell go to the ground?
Never.
Grapple.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing. It's the same people that say, oh, Khabib shouldn't have tried to take down Conor and should have stood up and fought him. But now you're saying, oh, you should have gone down to the ground because you don't
take my advantage away so I can
let me jump into your world.
Yeah.
Let
me as the lion jump into the sea with the octopus. Come on, man.
And maybe I'm tripping, but how did Raymond win the fight? Wasn't he on the ground?
TKO, ground and pound.
Into submission with punches on the ground.
He ground and pounded him from half guard.
So he was on the ground. So Jason King should have tried to go for some submissions or tried to get him in half guard or something, but he didn't. He
couldn't capitalize on. He got the half guard. He got the inside heel hook. Outside heel hook. He had the positioning and just couldn't finish it because he was already dazed from getting punched and elbowed in the head.
Exactly.
A black belt in jiu-jitsu becomes a brown belt every time he loses the belt every time he gets punched in the face hard. You know what I mean? You can be a black belt. I'm gonna punch you in the face. You become a brown belt. I punch you again. You become a purple belt. I punch you again. You become a blue belt. I punch you the fifth time in the face real hard. By then, your jiu-jitsu skills are about a white belt because your brain is going, well, what happened? He just punched me in my face. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Yeah.
Well, Gene, while I got you on the phone, let me ask you one question though.
What'd you say?
I said, while I got you on the phone, let me ask you just one question. What did you think about the Conor fight?
What I think of what?
The Conor versus Cowboy fight.
I don't think nothing of it. It was ridiculous. I don't think nothing. That wasn't a fight. It wasn't. And honestly, man, I thought Cowboy was going to put up a better fight than what he did when the fight was first announced. And I was talking to Avery about. Avery told me that he was going to beat him. And I was like, are you sure? You think? I thought he was going to put up a better fight. Avery was like, nah, Cowboy's been losing the last few fights. He's not going to do anything. Now, I didn't expect him to lose in 40 seconds or whatever it was.
With the Harlem Shake, bro.
That's got to be embarrassing. You got beat by a shoulder.
Yeah. The Harlem Shake,
I ain't never seen that before.
Yeah.
His shoulder. Who get knocked out by a shoulder? That's ridiculous.
But see, but
you're the ugly laugh right now.
I was saying that I thought the fight was fixed. I do think the fight was fixed. It was set up for him to continue to be able to fight, and because he has been losing, I guess, like you said, he's been losing. So therefore, I think he was on his way out of the UFC. And I just thought he was like, hey, we give you some extra money, take the dive, and you can continue fighting and making some money, but, you'd be in the prelims or whatever. I just thought it was a setup to boost Conor, to make everybody say Conor's back. And
I mean, probably so, but I think he's done. I don't really think too much of him anyway.
He said he's coming back. He said he's going to continue fighting.
Cowboy?
Yeah, Cowboy said he's going to continue fighting.
Yeah, it's just a nice little warm up fight for Conor. Conor right now is, who has more
draw power,
celebrity,
nobody
in the UFC than Conor McGregor.
Nobody,
because it was him and Ronda. So he's gonna be their cash cow for right now. So they don't want him to get on a winning streak.
Yeah,
they don't want. Yeah, he said that he wanted to fight someone, and Dana came out and said, "No, I can't remember who Conor wanted to fight.
Masvidal?
Was it the guy that just fought
Khabib?
Nate Diaz?
He wanted Masvidal.
Did he say Masvidal or Usman?
He might have said.
And Dana said no.
Yep.
Because he wants to protect him, just like he protected Ronda from Cyborg. So Dana not stupid. He's not gonna mess up no money. That's ridiculous.
Do you know what Conor's contract is up?
I have no idea.
Okay, I was just curious. I was thinking maybe.
But most of the time those contracts are done by. It's not by years. It's done by fights. So he might have.
That's what I'm saying.
Five fight contract.
Right.
Or
So he might be
whatever.
up. If he had the Khabib fight, he had this fight, this Cowboy fight, and they're talking about doing another Khabib fight, and it's possible that he had one before. What was before? I think, didn't he do another Diaz fight before?
He did Diaz 2,
and then he did Khabib, right? All of that was after Floyd, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So I would say that's probably like 4 fights. So if he did 4 fights, this might
Dana is going to give him whatever he wants,
but he
in order
wants
to get him in the
to be like Mayweather.
He wants to have a stake in promotion, and he wants to have his own promotion company, which Dana can't allow that to happen because Dana doesn't own the company anymore. He's just the president, so he's like the face. So
I would say I have to get 20 million at least for my fights. It's not that's 5 million stuff.
Oh man,
that's what I'm saying. If I'm Conor, I need to be drawing the 20 million for my fights. I'm the reason people are coming to see. I'm the show. I'm the money. I need to get $20 million. I'm not saying 200, but $20 million, or do something like Canelo where you got a 5-fight deal when it's $20 million a piece, and you just like it's just guaranteed. You need to sell this stuff in a certain way, like they did with on the Zone or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
But
well, that's true. But if Conor McGregor did something like that, that would be like a bomb going off in the MMA world. Because he's not going to be the only one that does that. And he is going to open the floodgates if something like that happens.
Who else can draw like that to get that even in their contract? Right now, I think what they would start doing though is I think they would just start making up feuds to hype those feuds. Yeah, but you know.
Think about it, man. I mean, if somebody really like Mayweather, I mean, when he fought Canelo wasn't really anybody.
Nope.
You know, he wasn't who he is now when he fought him.
No.
Or Ricky Hatton. But those fights were big and they promoted it on Showtime.
Yes, they did.
You know?
They made them big. They made those fighters big. You're right on that.
Yeah, so I mean, if someone who has some type of name recognition starts doing those type of MMA fights and putting on MMA shows, man, that's going to open up the floodgates.
Yeah, we thought we were going to get some of that with the De La Hoya stuff, but that didn't do too well. And then one has got to really try to figure out how to get more into the American market. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's going to be, it opens the doors to be able to do that. And you're going to have people like Triple H and WWE.
So
that would be, like somebody like like John Jones.
Yep. That's the real star power whenever he comes back.
Whenever he gets,
that's the real star power.
If he doesn't come back, if he decided to do that and open up, not his own promotion, but has his own card and him fighting against someone.
Yep.
It would have to be someone who, John Jones and Chael Sonnen. I don't want to see it. I don't. Not at all. But those two guys would hype that up.
They did.
And they would make a lot of money between both of them.
Yep. Because at this point, it's not about the skill of the fighters anymore. It's about the promotion and who you can get to pay to watch you.
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
I say it kind of goes into, the rest of things where it doesn't, like the UFC, it doesn't matter about your skill or your fighting level. It's about who you can get to pay to watch you.
Yeah.
It's all about that show now.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, Chris, did Ray re-sign with Bellator, or is that like a one-fight deal? Do you know?
I am not 100% privy to all of that definite information.
Okay, then
I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway,
they were promote. I think he's gonna be around there for a while. Because they were promoting him as the Bellator welterweight
kickboxing champion. Yep.
Yeah, but he's just done 2 MMA fights, and I don't see him going back to MMA
kickboxing not too soon. Well, I don't see Bellator having another kickboxing card right away.
Right.
Was the kickboxing around him?
Stay up under the umbrella. He's not gonna. I don't see why would he go to the UFC.
No, I was thinking one. I was thinking he's going to go one.
He'll go one. If he leaves Bellator, he won't go to the UFC. He will go to one.
He'll go to one championship, yeah.
If you think about it, I thought that's where he was going to go anyway. Sage fights for them. His wife Kobe fights for them.
Yeah.
They have really, really, really amazing contracts that I know 100%. One has the best contracts I think I've ever seen, including some of the UFC contracts that I've seen. Because I've seen Tony Ferguson, a couple of Tony Ferguson's contracts when I lived in California, and they were cool. But like, yeah, their contracts are the best. They got that. They got that Asian money.
Let me ask you something, Chris. I heard something. Actually, I read something on some of the comments, and I've never been a person that believes this, but one of the comments was the UFC has better competitors than Bellator. Now, at one point in time, I believe that was the case, but I don't really think that's the case anymore.
I do for the most part, because you look at the guys that left the UFC to go to Bellator. So you look at Rory McDonald. Rory McDonald couldn't win the title at 170, came down, won the title, but then lost to Douglas Lima. Now, Douglas Lima can be in the UFC if he wanted to. His brother Diego's already in the UFC. But most of the guys that come down from the UFC who aren't winning, all of a sudden become a star at Bellator. Ryan Bader lost his last like 3 fights in a row, comes over to Bellator and wins 3 fights in a row, becomes the champion. Like, he's their heavyweight champion right now. Czech Congo went and was almost fought for their title. He couldn't get close enough to the UFC belt. So it's a lot of the older guys who have the names from the UFC who transfer over and do pretty well against guys who didn't make it to the UFC yet. So when you're looking at it from a broad perspective, it kind of looks like Bellator still has some catching up to do, but they have better pay scales and they have better, like management and relationships with their fighters. It's just kind of like, you know, it's the NBA. UFC is the NBA.
Do you think one is best?
But with the NBA though, the NBA basketball players, they're not training and working out with the same people that's in the G League, right?
Right. You're right.
No, but in the summer
they do. Yeah, I was gonna say some parts.
In the summer they do, Gene. In the summer they are playing. In the summer they do.
They play with the D League guys.
A lot of pickup guys. They do play with them in the summer.
But not like what we're talking about
every single day, and it's just the only thing that separates you is, you know, you fight in Bellator and I'm fighting UFC, you fighting the one, and you know whatever else organizations that's out there.
Yeah, like I said, you know, and I think it's different weight classes. I think the lighter weight classes, the Asian one has the best fighters. If you look at Demetrius Johnson, who wiped out the UFC and then went over to one and almost lost, had a really, really hard fight for the belt. That shows you, maybe one has better competition. But at 145, 155, and 170, like nobody touches the UFC. Douglas Lima can go into the UFC and be competitive, but I'm not sure if he beats Usman or Jorge Masvidal.
Well, I just know that UFC has always promoted that. I mean, they're the number one.
Yeah, they're the A-list show. Yeah, definitely.
But they did it at a time. You know, they did it back in the day when Pride was around, and
Pride was better.
I don't think that they were that much better than the Pride fighters, especially the heavyweight division.
No, Pride was better. Light heavyweight and heavyweight. Pride was way better. You look over there. Chuck Liddell went over to Pride and got knocked out by Rampage. Right. And then Rampage got knocked out by Vanderlei, because the whole reason was they wanted to see that Chuck Liddell was better than Vanderlei Silva. Vanderlei Silva went 4 years without losing at his weight class. 4 years. So they wanted to see if UFC's best was better than Pride's best, and Chuck Liddell couldn't even get to fight Vanderlei. So
right, I remember that.
I'm with you on that one. I think Pride was way better. UFC had better lightweights, but Pride didn't have lightweights. UFC had BJ Penn and Carl Uno and all those dudes way back then. So yeah, UFC has been marketed in America as the A-list promotion, and you didn't really get to see anybody from any organization unless they were in the UFC. So they have kind of had a monopoly on those fighters, and people are starting to see more talent in other organizations. So I think you're going to see with the pay scales moving out, and then the two major American, and then the one, I think you are going to see more diversity in all of the weight classes and all the different organizations.
All right, Gene, we got to get this because we got to get to this AKA Grand Nationals type. Well, excuse me, AKA Warrior Cup topics. What happened this weekend? So,
all right, fellas.
Talk to you later.
Thanks for talking with us, man.
No problem.
All right, so that was my brother Eugene or Gene.
Woo!
Yeah. All right, let's get to it. Hold on, wait, no. Before we get to that, right before we get to that. Just real quick. Competition.
Bro, can you imagine the sparring sessions right now up there? You know the rematch. Man, I just saw what Chris Rapole posted. The True Warriors with all 4 of them. Nasty K.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, 2020 has started off pretty...
A little shaky, man.
That's
a little shaky.
Let me get to... Come on, man.
What you got? Where you going?
Yeah, I got to go back to Nasty before we go back.
Oh, yeah. We're getting another clip. All right.
Yeah, got to get another clip with just the right one.
We have
Nah, that's not that one. Because it's like...
We have Steve Nasty Anderson on for
one more round he's talking about, and it's at 8:39. All right. Here we go. Ready, set.
I believe that. Remember I told you that I don't believe a lot of the things that I say. I actually believe, till this day, nobody's ever hit me, and I turned around and said they might hit me with that shot again. I'd be pissed off and making sure they don't hit me with that shot again. So, never happened to me. But with you guys, if you could just, when you're out on route.
So he's talking about like adjusting, like knowing that once you got hit with something,
you should never get hit with it again in that fight.
Yeah, and certain people this weekend, y'all kept getting hit with some of the same stuff over and over again, but I'm not gonna start off negative. Let's start off positive.
How we gonna start, my friend?
Let's start off because we got all right, man.
We got results and then topic after topic after topic.
So let's just start off with I don't want to do the whole recap of the
we can do the recap.
All right, Friday, this old dude came out and fought with his young teammates. And looked good fighting. People were talking about him like, oh, he beat Zayn in his team fight. Who was the second fight, John?
Henry Wees will beat DKS.
All right, you beat Henry Wees and DK for Team DKS. That was only 2 fights, right? Y'all
those are 2 fights.
Y'all had proper
8 teams.
Night after.
Yeah.
So he looked good. Looked like he rewound the clock a little bit. And his team he helped his team get to the stage. So let's talk about team fighting straight out
the gate. Team fighting.
Yeah.
11 a.m. 8 teams.
Yes. 8 teams.
8
11
teams.
a.m.
Impex versus Legend. Proper versus Next Level. All Stars versus Dojo. And DKS versus K-Talk. Man, it was some fights, man. It was pretty good.
DKS beat K-Talk, right?
DKS beat K-Talk, yes, sir. Impex, Legend beat Impex out the gate.
Yep.
Proper beat Next Level out the gate.
Yep.
All Stars beat Dojo, and then DKS beat K-Talk. And that was those were it was different because I did not expect that DKS win to beat K-Talk. I thought we were gonna have to fight K-Talk.
K-Talk is who's on the team? It was
K-Talk
Cody.
Was Cody, Jason, and John Cortolo. They saved Chris for later.
And but I can see.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that.
I was actually impressed with a lot of people from DKS.
DKS looked really good this weekend.
I did.
Santiago looked good.
Santiago. It was a couple people. I think I wrote down some of their names.
Henry Ruiz looked good because he got second in heavyweights to Jose.
Hold on. Don't.
I don't want to jump into you. My bad.
No, something just happened. Hold on.
But Legend fought really, really well. Proper fought well. They matched up their matchups really well. They did that. Junior's doing a decent job at trying to line up his matchups. All Stars fought well.
You guys did. You guys did. Old Kevin came back.
Listen,
I was impressed with Kevin.
Kevin Walker had a great weekend, man. He fought well.
Kevin Walker had a very good weekend.
Yes, he didn't have a great weekend. You're right. You're right. He had a very, very good weekend. Yeah. You know how we feel about that.
I don't say anything that's great unless you finished off, and he came close to it.
Very close. And then Proper beat Legend. All Stars beat DKS, and then All Stars versus Proper in the finals.
So the last 4 was DKS, Proper, and Legend. And All Stars.
Yes, those are the last 4.
Oof, you guys were only Americans, huh?
Only Americans.
Well, never mind. But they were like, whatever.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, because that was one of the topics that I thought about too. Because it's interesting. when I was trying to figure out when Enrique was fighting Jack, why there were so many people cheering for Enrique. And I was sitting there like, yo, why that top
Guatemala?
10? Yeah, like, well, top 10 don't have that many people.
He's a dual citizen in Guatemala.
Somebody was like, no, it's because Latin Americans. And I was like, oh, that's right. And I looked around, I saw some of the DKS, the proper and
Legend.
They were cheering. I was like, oh,
it's a culture thing.
I said, I get it. All right, go. Do your thing. All right, now it makes more sense to me because I was trying to figure out with the same thing.
Legend and proper. Jason. None of them are from America.
Yeah.
None of them are. They all. No, I think Legend lives here, but like none of them are from America.
Like immigrants.
Jorge, Luis, and Brian. Brian lives in Florida, but Luis and Jorge don't. Legend, I think they might live in Florida. I don't know. Coco lives in Guatemala. Christian lives in Florida, and I don't remember who their third was. It wasn't Jose. So,
it was a different thing because I was just like, wait, why is? Oh, okay, all right, I get it. I get it. I can't be mad.
We got there.
Like, go ahead, do your thing.
Right.
Like, I was like, all right, yeah, I get it,
bro.
Yeah. So I was a little thrown off. What up?
Women's teams.
Yeah, man.
4 teams.
It was 4 teams. Yeah. 2 K-Top, Impacts, and
another team. I was trying to remember.
I'm really trying to remember who's on the team.
Was it Hope and Katie or somebody? It was like a mixed team. Like next level. Did they do it? I don't know. I don't even remember who the 4th team was. Because when I walked over there, I watched the Impex and K-Talk fight, and then I didn't watch the K-Talk versus K-Talk fight. I didn't stay over there.
I was running around. Okay, I was just
because I was really
curious. Legend. It was Legend.
It was Legend.
Yeah,
so Hope and
somebody else. I'm not sure who it was.
So yeah, I was I was impressed with that the K-Talk Impex fight.
Oh, Kayla.
No, not even Kayla because Lily and Kayla were because Lily was up up on Faith, and then so that made Morgan versus Kayla a very interesting match.
Yes.
Now I'm not a big proponent on calling team fights wins and all that jazz because of the way teams work out. So
unless you're going into that,
unless you're going in 0-0 or it's the first fight of the day.
Yeah,
like
if it's tied, then
you fight first match. Yeah, that's a 0-0 fight. Yeah.
Otherwise,
so I got wins.
You got wins. Yeah, you got wins. But you also took it.
I did. I took an L. I took an L. I did. I got kicked in the head. A little upset with that. I'm gonna come back for that one though. Trust, best believe. See? And the old guy he was talking about was me.
Yes. If it wasn't known, yes, Chris was the old guy. Chris fought.
I did. I fought in 18 to 29-year-old teams. So it wasn't too shabby.
Yeah, it didn't look good. It didn't look bad.
I didn't look good. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. God dang.
You didn't look bad.
Way to keep it honest, bro.
Yeah. You look good. You look good. I was impressed. I wasn't shocked with the first one because you and I ain't trained so much, and I knew you were comfortable controlling his leg.
Correct.
So I figured that you were going to win that fight. You and Henry, I just figured you would beat Henry. Not that Henry's bad. I just thought
adjustments wise.
I thought you would win that fight. The Brian fight, I did not see. I mean, I could, but I didn't see it. Him winning 5-1 in that fashion.
Right.
Like if I had thought that that means his leg was working that day and he was getting off and he was catching.
Caught 2 kicks and then I punched.
Yeah. So not the.
Right. Not the. Yeah.
You just gave it up at the end of the fight. Like,
but it was 3-1 and then I kept my hand down and got kicked in the side of the head.
Yeah. Literally like at the buzzer. It was like right before the buzzer.
Yeah. It was like 3 seconds before the buzzer. And then I was like, oh, blitz. Nah, don't lose 2 more points. Yeah. Don't run into something.
Just let it go.
Just let it be. Suck it up. The old guy got to come back and train. Mm-hmm. So, it was fun. But yeah, that women teams was crazy. Friday was crazy. 36 people were signed up in the open weight. There were a bunch of withdrawals, but there were 36 people signed up. You would not have expected the finals. Obviously, in the open weight, most people wouldn't have expected that to be where it was. But man, oh man, was it good. Final 4 was Avery, Kevin, Coco, and Enrique. with Coco beating Enrique and Avery beating Kevin.
No, you know what? Skip this.
I wanted to notable fights. You talking about notable fights right there?
I'm going right there.
Come on,
Trent.
Trent Spence, what's up, man?
Yo, he came out and I did not know he was 18. Well, that's what Blake told me. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I will say,
didn't know he was an adult age.
Yeah,
correct.
Trent. Shout out to you, Kay.
Good fighting.
Wait, Trent is fighting Wait, what is happening?
Nah, he fought well.
Yeah, he fought well. Especially that open weight.
That open weight fight was great.
People were cheering for him. I was like, yo, come on, Trent, pull it out. Come on, man, come on. I was like, yeah, all right, let's see. All right, yeah. So Trent looked good, because you had it written down. I was like, no.
Come on, man. That was my notable fight of the weekend. That was one of my notable fights.
But he beat somebody else after that. And ended up losing to Zayn.
No, he beat Zayn. Enrique. No, I thought he lost to Enrique. I thought Trent lost to Enrique.
Did he lose?
Or he lost to Coco. He either lost to Coco or Enrique because that was his bracket. He was on that side of the bracket because they were in the other ring.
Because he won 2 fights.
Yeah. He won the first fight, or he won Zayn, or he beat Zayn, and then he won the other fight. But
I thought
the Zayn fight was the one that was the notable fight.
I thought he beat Coco and then lost to.
No, he lost to.
No, because Coco was a runner-up. No.
Yeah.
Was it Christian?
Yeah, I think he did beat Christian.
He beat Christian.
I think it was yes.
Yeah,
he beat Zayn and Christian. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So he did well, man. Like
he did really well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So now I got to start watching out for Trent. So
there were some really good fights. There were some really good fights.
How did he do in the division? Do you know? I didn't see that.
He lost to the kid from Samuel Gagnon school. Sam Gagnon, he's a little short Canadian. He was in like an all black. I don't think he's on K-Talk. He lost to him.
Okay.
And then Speedy beat him, and then Speedy beat the Canadian, and then John Cortola beat Speedy.
Okay.
So that was that. So we got men's fighting divisions. We might as well go into Saturday divisions.
Yeah.
Well, no. I don't want to skip over junior open weight.
Oh no, we got to talk about
bro.
That.
I ain't skipping over that.
No, we're not talking about. But I also got to shoot out. No, go ahead. Yeah, you're right.
Junior open weight. There were some fights in there, boy. These juniors was.
I am now watching the junior division
because of that.
Just that weekend. This weekend because not just because of the main fight that we're gonna talk about, not because of that fight, but
just all in general.
I watched a few different juniors and I said,
D-Stacks,
these guys,
Alex,
nice.
Who just got picked up by Paul Mitchell, looked pretty good.
Liam North, who caught my eye, and I don't know if it's because he's related or if it's just because he was fighting well, and I think it was because of that. And I saw the name and I was like, Vincent Rouillard. And so I asked.
No, that's his brother. No, he's good.
He's good.
He's good.
I was sitting there watching like, oh, all right, who's this kid? All right, it's another K-Top. And to be honest with you, I saw them. It's for me, Conroy is always this dude who finds somebody. And
Canadians,
not even just Canadians. He can get he gets the most out of the squeeze. You know? What I mean?
Yes, he figures out the best way to squeeze those lemons. Yes, he does. Not saying y'all are lemons. Don't get it twisted.
I was saying oranges, but
he gets the most out of everything he has. Out of everybody he has, he really tries to pull the most out of them.
Well, let me ask you real quick. How did you like the uniforms?
The top 10 uniforms that they got?
Yeah.
All right, they're just all black
and white. Well, the thing I liked about it was the logo wasn't going across; it was going
straight
down.
Yeah,
I like for some reason it just caught me.
It sat well. It sat well on the back. Yeah, it did. It absolutely did. Instead of being a big portrait, it was just a scroll down. I did like that.
I did like that. It was dope. But anyway, all right now.
But listen,
here it is.
The poll.
Yes, the poll. I'm going to have to say, y'all, I don't want to be a part of it because we talked about it, but we were a part of, talking about this.
Yes.
Like, what are you talking about? Tyson is just the man. Like, I don't understand why this is even a question. And before the fight, I was sitting next to Tyson.
Right.
And so, Anthony came up to him and was like, man, I hope you get Jason. And they hadn't even done the
brackets
or anything like that. And, Tyson just got sitting there kind of like, yeah. And so Then the draw happened, and Tyson came back. It's like, I got Jason, and their crew was like, yes.
First fight, right?
First fight.
It
was like that. Well, first in that.
Well, first whatever in the
first
round.
fight. Yeah, it's the first round. And so I was sitting there like, all right, cool. I want to see how this goes.
Yeah, I know when we was texting back and forth, I just left to go get food. So I was like, no.
I said, Tyson and Jason about to fight first up. I'm like, all right. So
live stream.
Yeah.
Thank goodness Sport Martial Arts live stream.
So I was just sitting, I got to shoot out to we got to get to about
listen, I know, and we're like,
because Sue was like, y'all got to get quicker to the topics of, sport karate. Stop talking about, and we just wasted like 50 minutes. Well, we didn't waste. We talked about something completely different than Warrior Cup, but we're here now.
All right, we made it.
This is going to be this is probably going to be a 2-hour podcast. So we
planned on that.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right. So, all right. And Jason and Tyson get in that ring, and you can feel the energy in the ring.
Oh man.
Right. So watching the fight, I still have to go back and rewatch it because I'm just watching it live. I just saw it and was like, oh shoot. And Jason spreaded him 7-0.
Spread fast, quick.
And all I could think was, whoa, okay, Jason is legit. Like, all right, this is, and I started thinking like, is this the first time they fought? I don't think so. They probably fought before. It is what it is. And then I didn't, Tyson was visibly upset, but it just was what it was. And I just started thinking about the role we all played in these juniors competing like this, like just talking about it, blah, blah, because it rolled into Saturday, which we're going to get into in a minute, because we all played a part in this. All
Turn
right?
up.
We did. We all played a part in it. But
are you okay with it, or you're not super happy with the part we played in it?
I'm trying to check the fire before it gets out of hand.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Because before it gets out of hand, because of what I talked about a few minutes ago, and I was saying who was cheering for Enrique?
Right.
The same people were cheering for Jason.
Right.
Right. So it was like a whole crowd of people cheering for Jason, and
everybody else was cheering for Tyson.
Right.
So it was split
around it.
No, just say it.
It was a whole bunch of black people cheering for Tyson. There was a whole bunch of Hispanic people who were cheering for Jason.
Yeah.
So in their fight, in the team fight, I mean, in the
open weight,
no, not even the open weight
division. You want Saturday in the division?
In the Saturday in the division, Tyson spread him 11-4. Right, so he beat him the next day. There's like 24 hours later, it's a completely different thing. Tyson just spread this kid 11-4, but he also had some words for him when he was hitting him.
They both had words for each other. They was both jawing back and forth the whole time.
This is my point. They started chirping back and forth.
Yeah.
But not only was it about Tyson and Jason, every fight Jason had, people were trying to kill him. Every
people
fight.
Don't like their attitudes. They don't like the Latona's attitudes.
I have never talked to the kid, so I'm just like, I'm just looking at it. I was like, yo, they're trying to kill this kid. You know what I mean? And when I saw Jason, this is the first time this is the first time I actually paid attention and looked at Jason.
Did you?
Right?
Oh, for real? Nah, Jason's dope.
Yeah. Oh, he's really good. But I'm talking about just his look.
Oh, okay.
So when I saw him, and I'm just like, all right, this is him. Okay. I wasn't.
Enrique looks the same though.
That's what I'm saying. So they don't look like that, but they don't look like they killers.
No.
To be honest with you, they couldn't look like they could be doing forms. Like we talked about fighters look, and they kind of look like they could be doing forms a little bit. So I was just kind of looking like, all right. I mean, I've seen other people they don't look tough, but they some tough people.
Slap you.
So I watched this kid, Jason fight, and I was like, oh, this kid is dope. I saw him versus Tyson, but everybody was trying to kill this kid. They were late. So there was people late shots.
There were people late. I don't like late shots.
Yeah, they were doing all of this stuff, and I'm sitting here, and I just started thinking, I know it's a rivalry, but they're still juniors.
Correct.
So to the point where, and you know how parents get, parents can't explode, which happened later on. And it was against Jason. So it was just
Friday night. But that was against the judge.
But no, I'm just saying. But it was tense.
Oh yes.
It was tense because
same reason we had to switch out.
That's what I'm saying. But no, it was tense because of who he was fighting.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was because of that. They wanted to win hard because of who he's fighting. So I was just sitting there like, all right, please, let's not get this into craziness. Let's just, they still juniors. They still, right. It's still what it is. And when they, especially, you can't have, I remember being a 15, 16 year old, you know what I mean? The testosterone that's running through my bone. We trying to show everybody that we tell. We start smelling ourselves. We start doing everything. Oh, listen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So
I'm trying to put it on you.
Just saying, I love competition. I love them going at each other. I love it, the fact that they don't like each other. I love all of that stuff. But
let's keep it cordial.
Long as it doesn't go into
spills over.
Yeah, spills over to other things. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I can see that.
Like, hey, all right. Just because I know the role we played in it. Just because, like, yo, why is it? No, Tyson's the man. Like, what are y'all talking about? Tyson kills everybody. What are y'all talking about? Why is this a popularity contest? But it is what it is. Those two are going to be.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be a wild year.
I'm excited.
I am.
And that's small. And then the winner of that has to fight whoever wins the tall, and it's usually either D Stacks, D or whatchamacallits. But D don't really lose too often in that division.
No. Avery finally stopped working out, and he just hit me back.
He's gonna send you the last piece.
Yes.
Thank you. I need you to send me that as well. So this is the last part.
This is the last part of
Steve Anderson quote.
Steve Anderson quote that he sent Avery, or the gems that he sent Avery. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. Like, duh.
Oh, listen, I got a little shaky. I got a little quaky right there. Hold on, time out.
Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. That is a line.
That's
man.
deep.
Yeah, like when you really sit back and think about it, that is definitely a line.
That's a jewel right there.
Yeah, that's one of the jewels from Steve Nasty Anderson.
Goodness gracious. So,
sorry, let's get back to.
You want to go women or you want to go men's divisions?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
We talked enough about men.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Super lightweight. Kayla Mejia over Faith Vieira. Really, really impressed with her this weekend.
I was, and to the point where I went back and started looking at stuff today about her and like her transition from, she was on Velocity. I did not know that.
Yep.
And then she was on K-Top, and I was watching, she won silver at Waco last year, I think it was.
Yep.
Lost to an Italian lady. I don't know who it was, but so so then it clicked and made sense. I'm like, oh, she has that experience.
Right.
If I didn't know, I know now.
Right. We talked about that a little bit when we did our last year's recap show, because we talked about Kayla being the second best, right behind Kitana, and with without Kitana being in the mix, that allowed for Faith and Kayla to go. But Faith is usually in the weight class up. She went down a weight class because I know Gina is in that super light, so I didn't know if she was going to go down to the super light. But Faith is small, so I wouldn't have thought she did lightweight. But Kitana was like, oh, yeah. Faith went down a division.
Yeah,
I was like, oh. Okay, we'll leave that be. And then Lily won light.
Yeah. Who was in Lily's division? Do you remember?
So
I got over there late. So did Lily beat Hope?
Lily beat Hope first fight of the division. And then there were some other girls in there. Not bigger names that I would readily, that I would go over there and see. Hey,
people are still building.
Like, yes.
People are still building this skill set.
And then Morgan's division.
She had one fight, right?
She had two fights. She fought Katie Little.
Katie Lacey.
Yeah. Katie Lacey. Now I said Little. And then she fought Drew. Those are the only three in the division. So again, Morgan's division, and then middleweight.
You know what I loved about that?
What, man?
I'll say, you know what I loved about that division, man, was that they were trying to give Morgan the bye, and she wouldn't take it.
Oh, yeah.
She wouldn't take the bye, and I think Drew said she was rated, and I don't think she was. But anyway, and so she got the bye. But is what it is. Anyway, on to the next one.
Yeah. And then Melanie won middleweight division.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes 3K Talk versus Morgan.
Yeah.
And then Kayla beat Lily, which she fought really well against Lily in that runoff fight.
Yeah, she did. That was a good fight.
And then Morgan beat Melanie, which Morgan won that fight, no question. But I thought the calls were could have been a little bit closer. Just every time Morgan went forward, Morgan got the point. You know, and it can be a momentum thing. It could be her reach thing. It could be a link thing. It could be she's so good, I assume she's going to get the point kind of thing. It could be all of that.
It's that. I mean, well, it's
so it kind of, and it happens.
They're watching for her point.
We've talked about this. They watch for certain people's points because they know they should automatically win. So it's like, oh, it was close enough. Of course they got that.
Right. You have to make the other
He got that. She got that. Whomever.
Yeah,
and it happens on a regular. It's not, specific people on purpose all the time, but when you have a momentum and when you have some wins and stuff like that, it does start to kind of be on the roll. You start looking for Zolt's kicks, or you start looking for Jack's side kick, or Robbie's body punch, or Morgan's back fist, or Avery's back fist, Avery's reverse punch, whatever it is, you don't really look for that. And they're kind of there, but, it gets to that point, but, Morgan definitely fought really, really well. And then that final fight with Kayla and Morgan was, a little step on the gas towards the end there, because it was the open weight fight that they had for the finals of the open weight was an overtime fight.
Yeah, it was close.
So that was going to be.
They fought well.
But Morgan turned it up for that cup though. God,
because
was that 5?
The Friday.
Because of 5.
That's 5. Yeah,
5.
Yeah, 5 titles.
5.
And we're gonna get somebody else who got. I didn't know how many he had. I did not know how many Jackson has.
That was like 6 or something.
8. That was his 8th Warrior Cup.
He got more than anybody then, because I thought.
Nope, Ross has 9.
I thought Ross has 9.
Ross has 9.
Did he win weapons like 2 or 3 years? I thought he only had one weapon. So he has 7. Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. We didn't go to that tournament.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
I know.
As a team, we haven't been there since WSKF.
Yeah.
As a team, because when I went there, I was straight up. I was on straight up in 04.
Ross has 9.
Yeah.
Jackson, I think, has 8. I think Jackson has 8. But anyway, we'll get to Jackson in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to them. But yeah, Morgan got 5. And then Rasha over Regina for 30 and over.
Yeah, man. Rasha won, man. Rasha had Rasha's progression over the last years she's improved a lot. She literally, this is how dedicated she is. She drives almost every weekend to Detroit to go train with my cousins and my uncle.
And wear a new uniform.
Yes, she was wearing a new uniform. The uniform gives you powers. Anyway, so it does. So, but she drives from Chicago to Detroit to train every weekend. That is 100%. She will go there for the local tournaments. She just competes. She'll stay in hotels.
She's on her grind.
Dedicated. So it is as much of a shock it is to other people.
Congratulations for that progression, for the hard work, the dedication, the commitment to your craft.
Did she beat Regina, she won the whole thing. She finished it. She didn't just beat Regina.
She won the whole show.
She won the whole
30
show.
and over.
The whole 30 and over, plus they won. I was going to say this. They won 30 and over teams.
Oh, nice.
She swept the 30 and over women's divisions.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
Right.
Now this is where I feel is a little jaded.
Congratulations, Rasha.
Congratulations, Rasha. Beautiful. Now, this is how come they do. You're right.
Hey, yo, seriously, gray hair just fell out my beard onto the microphone.
And you can see it. You can't miss that thing.
What is this on the mic? All right.
How come they only do the 2 final women? How come they don't do the women's open weight winner and then the 30 and over if they wanted the opportunity?
It's 4 divisions for women, so it's literally just right there for you.
What they already did that though, so they already fight them down to get the 2. But you don't even have to do that. But they include the 30 and over men for the Warrior Cup. They include the open weight for the Warrior Cup. Yeah. They could have done. I mean, it was It was Kayla and Morgan, and then it was Kayla Morgan, and then it would have been Rasha, and then Kayla and Morgan.
You're right. So whoever
it would have been the three of them, and obviously you would have to give Morgan the bye.
They would,
but they're not going to bring up three. They obviously they didn't really have a lot of fighting. They weren't, and this is what we're going to talk about when we got to teams. They weren't going to have the teams on stage.
Right.
They were going to fight us all down Friday day. I didn't know when I was going to talk about this, but big shout out to Junior Salientes from Proper and us as All-Stars to be able to work together.
You just do a big shout out to us.
Yeah. Us. We
arrogant. Big shout out to us.
No, just saying. But we worked it out, and we wanted to make sure that we were showcased. We wanted to make sure that we got to be able to be in the nighttime show. They said last year whoever the teams were just like, just fight it down. We don't care. We don't want to be in the show. And it's like, listen, you're already going to only have 5 fights to begin with. 5 fights. 500 forms and 5 fights. Put 3. It's 3 minute and a half.
It's the 3 fights for the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Four fights.
4 fights.
The 3 fights for the Warrior Cup and the 1 ladies fight for the Warrior Cup. Yep. That was it. 4 fights. So they were like, you mean it? We don't have time in the nighttime show. We've already planned it out. You mean to tell me you don't have time for 3 90-second rounds? You mean to tell me? And so we protested. We sat there for like 10, 15 minutes. Like, nah. We're not, and we came to the agreement that, listen, we were going to fight as hard as we can to get into the stage, but we're not going to take such a stand where we're going to bow out and not do it, because the third place team would have stepped up and took the money. So
it was very tight because they didn't even have 10 seconds to do a moment of silence for Nasty Anderson and Kevin Thompson. So, but
it ran for 4.5 hours. How do you not have no time?
4 hours. It's 7 o'clock. They opened the doors, but 7:30 is when it started.
7:30 started, and it wasn't done until 11:45, almost midnight, bro. It was pushing. We were pushing it. We were pushing 4.5 hours. I thank goodness that they put the fighting like the 6th division, like that. They had, a women's division and 4 kids divisions, and then fight, and then forms for the rest of the night. They had a trick battle. I left, and they had the award. Yeah, I left after we were done fighting. No disrespect to that. I came back and watched the men's finals, because I was waiting around to see why nobody was in the lobby. So we were like, they're in the finals. Let's go back.
Yeah, they're still there.
Watch Joey and Aiden and all them compete. But that was, to be honest, wrong.
I did not even watch the finals besides fighting. I was like, this is.
I only watched.
Because the first thing I saw was the junior forms. It was women's
weapons, junior. I was
like, you know what?
Fighting. And then the rest of the forms.
I'm not even going in there right now. I was waiting and I was just sitting out there talking to people walking by and just having conversations. So, talking to Willie and Regina and Akin and RPG, and it was I was just out there.
Yeah, you're having a blast.
Yeah, just like chilling, talking. Awesome. Like I'm not even thinking about the rest of this until the fight. I was waiting for Raymond's fight to start.
Yep,
is what it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we were done with our fighting. We went up, took a shower, went out, got something to eat, came back, watched Raymond's fight, went down, got a drink, came back up, hung out in the room because we were waiting for everybody to be done, went back downstairs, went into the finals, watched that last division, and then left. It was almost midnight when we were walking out of there. It was ridiculous. We didn't even get...
Yeah, it is one. Anyway.
Men's fighting.
Yeah, men's fighting. All right.
Super lightweight. John Cortolo over Sergio.
John Cortolo over Sergio. Yes, yep. Sergio got to the finals.
Sergio got to the finals, man. He looked good. Enrique won lightweight. Okay. And then Enrique won.
Who was in Enrique's division? And by the way, I am impressed by Enrique also.
Oh, yes.
I am very impressed by Enrique, but go ahead.
James, Jeremy Francoeur. That was that division. No, Francoeur was in 50-59. So it was James. No, Francoeur was in James' division. So yeah, that was.
What happened to James?
James lost to Jeremy.
Okay, there we go. I was
busy to kill him.
We're gonna get to that. I was busy on the other side, so I didn't get the chance to see
the lights.
Yeah.
And then light welterweight, Luis from DKS beat Cody Deesberg, which was crazy to me. That was a crazy fight. And then Jack won. welterweight. Jack beat Luis. And then, so that's set up for an Enrique Jack fight for the lightweight, overall grands. Kevin Walker won light middleweight. Brian won middleweight. Avery had a walkthrough in light heavyweight. And Jose Ibarra from Team Legend won heavyweight, beating Henry Ruiz. Avery beat Jose. Kevin beat Brian, which set up a Kevin and Avery rematch from Friday night for the heavyweight heavyweight grands.
Right. Did we even finish the open weight? What happened in open weight? I don't think we finished what happened in open weight.
Gogo lost to Avery. And the final four was we did. Avery fought Kevin and beat Kevin, and then Oscar beat Enrique, and then Avery beat Coco for that. And then since Avery won the AKA heavyweights, the runner up from the open weight gets to go into the finals for the Warrior Cup, which I think is bogus. If the man won 2 divisions, give that man his bye. I don't need to see a second place person come up and have a chance to steal the show. I mean, I think it's nice and all that, but it's not, that's
yeah.
I mean, he came back and got to the finals. So, I mean, he did.
He did. Anyway.
But then that, man.
What? So,
and then I sat in the coaching chair. Jack beat Luis.
And Enrique beat Jeremy?
John Cortolo. John looked really good this weekend. John made some transitions and adjustments in his game. I thought he did a really good job. So good job, John Cortolo.
Good job, John.
What else? What you got though? Because you were over in that heavyweight ring judging, not originally, but taking over.
What was funny was
I know it wasn't supposed to be originally.
No, it was what happened was this. Literally, I was going around taking pictures of the setup, who was fighting who on the screens. I was doing that, boom, and who was in each division, so I can watch it back and I know who's fighting in these rings and stuff like that. So then I go to the ring where they're about to do the light middleweight. Light middleweight, yeah. And so I walk over there.
Oh my God.
And I go take the picture and Cam is running the ring. And I'm like, yo, Cam, you're because Cam didn't fight. His heel is still bothering him. So I was like, Cam, you not fight? I mean, you're not, I'm saying, you got you over here. You say, yeah, because that means people have to get, they have to actually hit and score. And I was like, all right. He said, hey, look, Ryan is in this division and, we're teammates, so I got to coach him. Can you just step in for me when Ryan fights? I was like, sure, Cam. I don't have a problem with that. And so that's how I ended up judging. So it literally, because I was being personable and talked to someone,
you got snatched up?
I got snatched into judging. This is why I don't talk to people. So I was just like, all right. So, and then he was like, all right, cool. Cause I think it was the first fight, to be honest with you. I think it was the first fight. I can't remember.
Ryan and Gorham.
No, that was the second fight. It was Ryan and someone from the West Coast. I can't remember who. I don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah. From DeSala school. Yeah, you're right. Hold on,
it was the last welter,
light middle. So it's not Amba.
Trying to see. Yeah, it was Oswaldo Arreño. From Dumb Lounge.
Yes.
Osvaldo. Arreño. Well, whatever.
Yeah, that guy.
I don't want to mess up your name too bad because I probably already did. But he got off on Ryan first.
Ooh, he
got off on Ryan. And it was like 4-0. I was like, yo, what?
Wow, what's going on, my guy?
And it was just a very high-paced fight. And I could tell Osvaldo got tired. He got a little tired in the fight.
Yeah, he got a little adrenaline jump. He was up and getting so hopped up and thinking, and then
Ryan came back and ended up winning by 1.
Right.
And that set him up. That set up a fight with him and Chris Gorham.
Right.
Which
listen,
I gotta say this. I was like, yo, Cam, I can't be in this ring either. Because Chris is about to fight. So I was like, we're going to find somebody else. So I went over and grabbed Matt Williams.
Yep. Venom.
Because he was standing there watching because, this is like his stuff. And I was like, look, Cam's supposed to be running it, but I can't do it because Chris was fighting and Cam can't do it. So can you just step in? He's like, yeah, cool. So then he stepped in. And that's when all heck broke loose.
Oh my God. First thing that set it up was judge's call.
Yeah.
That's a late call.
Yeah. And what happened was, I will go back to my first fight with Osvaldo and Ryan, because my first call, I went 1 point to Osvaldo, and I can't remember the gentleman's name over on
the corner judge. The older dude or the long hair guy?
The long hair guy.
Long hair guy. His name. Okay.
But I was like 1 point over this side, and I would say one, and nobody, he didn't call it. So I turned to look over my shoulder. The guy didn't call it either. So I went right into saying go, and then I heard, oh, no. I'm like, wait, what? Stop. And I look, and the guy was like, oh, it's 1 point over here. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking, I knew he threw it late. And I was like, don't be this dude. Like, I don't need this problem. It is what but he was an older gentleman, which I have a take on that, but we're going to get to another conversation because we're just going over what happened at the World Cup and the things that we thought about while we were there. And so I knew that he was going to be a problem.
Yeah. Oh, I knew from that first fight as well.
And Cam being Cam, which threw me off, for the most part, once that fight. So when Matt got in there and started, and that guy kept calling late, the other guy, Cam, was yelling at them. And it just amped up. They bullied that man.
Listen, you know who was the loudest yeller in that whole group?
Who?
Josh.
Josh was?
Josh was the loudest. Josh was the one who yelled at him, and the referee stopped what he was doing to talk back to Josh.
That did happen.
The dude was like, you don't call our way. Your right arm doesn't work. And the dude stopped. That's not true. I call what I see. And he right then and there, it was over. Right then and there, it was over. Now, I'm over there trying to calm Josh down. Can you picture this? Chris Walker trying to calm down Josh Horwich. Like that's the other way around 10 out of 10 times. But yeah. And so, yeah, it just boiled over to the point where you and I had to go over there and talk to Cornell and tell him, listen, like, look, we're going to have to change out, and we're going to have to change out both of them just to not offend one of them and to piss one of them off. We're going to have to change out both of them.
Then they got on that dude too. They got on the other center of the corner too.
Well, we didn't know because we ended up taking both of them out at the same time.
Yeah, but it wasn't that match, and it wasn't.
It was the next. It was a match after the match. No, because Kevin fought next.
Yes, but Cam was back in.
And
they had both of those judges over there.
Kevin fought because I was sitting in the corner because I was like, man, I just yelled too. I hope this dude doesn't not call for Kevin.
And then somebody else yelled, and it was like, so he said something. So it just began. So they started having conference after conference, and Cornell kept having to jump in. So it was just crazy until we finally
switched them out for Dewan
and Matt Williams, and then I would step in when Cam needed to, and
I stepped in later on.
Because Dewan had to go off. So and one of the things I just noticed, everything was a lot more calmer because the respect of the judges, and knowing that we're fighters, we get it.
They're not going to argue with us.
Exactly. They're not.
I messed with Dewan at one point.
Yeah,
he smiled at me, and I was like, "All right, you're right, man. I had to try, guy."
You're not going to intimidate us, but it was one of they bullied the other judges.
So easy.
It was intense, and then all of a sudden it was just like calm, because we were telling. And one of the things I always loved if a judge does this, and then Cam was doing it, where is. He's saying, I saw that. Like, I saw the 1 point over here. I saw the reverse punch.
Yes.
I love that. Because there was times the Cam was like, third punch hit.
Yes, because we were talking about that.
He was like, no, the first two was crash. That third one is the one that hit. I saw that one. That's the score. And so it was like, and I'm the type like, yo, if I don't see it, I'm not calling them. Like, it's on my blind side. What you want me to do? That's on the blind side. I cannot see that. And I can't
X-ray. I can't say X-ray view with the sidekick if you hit your arm or not, bro.
I'm going to get myself in position. So I'm facing the judges. It's much more work for me by going back and forth.
Yes.
But I'm like, all right, both of them are on the, opposite sides or whatever. So their backs are to me. So now I'm turning and saying and go. And then once they stop, we stop it and we're calling point. I'm going back to the other side so I can make eye contact with the
scorekeeper. So they understand.
So they understand which side is getting it. And then I get my butt back into position on the other side, facing the open side so I can see it. So I'm that type of judge. Like, yo, I'm gonna be moving. I'm gonna be speaking loud.
Well, I had to run around the corner because I got trapped in the corner quite a few times. But I could see that way. If I went the backside, I would only see backside.
Like the Brian and Kevin fight. Kevin kept angling to the point where I couldn't see what was happening. He kept moving to the right. And so now I'm saying he's blitzing off that side. And I'm like, I'm literally like, everybody's like, I'm like, I can't see any of this. My hands are above my face because he's turning it to with his back. So I'm like, all right.
Position I can't tell.
Yeah, I can't tell. So I'm not calling it. So it is what it is. It sounded nice.
And that was respect.
Looked like it was supposed to be good, but I'm out of position. I cannot see. So
that's respect though. Cause I mean, you don't get that all the time. This is a big issue that I had with calls this weekend. You know, not every exchange has to be awarded a point.
True.
Stop calling break as the center referee if you're not going to call a score. Now, if you see somebody on the side waving and you look at the other guy was like, I don't see it. Don't call break. It makes no sense. If you say break, calls, and you call nothing, what's the point of calling stop? What's the point of stopping the action? You're missing up a continuation. You're missing up a follow-up shot. You're missing and stopping action for
I will say this.
Nothing.
If the judge that you are looking at, that is on that you can see, not the one that's behind you,
right,
but the one that's in your view, calls a point, you got to stop it because you don't know what
the other person saw. Absolutely.
Right. So you call it stop, and you look like, all right, no, nothing. All right, ready, go. Other than that, if you just call and stop because they clash, stop. Like, then it's like, nothing happened.
If you didn't see any points, don't say.
And whoever was that scorekeeper, I told her to her face, but she did a good job because there were times where something happened and like they're supposed to let the clock run. She would stop the clock.
Yeah. Oh no, she was good about that.
She would stop the clock.
She was good about that.
Like it wasn't like every time, but she knew
when
it was like 2 or 3 seconds.
Right now,
like, nope, let me stop.
And now, as an amazing scorekeeper as she was, that's not how it's supposed to happen.
It's not supposed to. It's up to the judge. It's
only up to the center judge to call time.
Right.
So as much as I respect that woman for doing that for the fighters and giving them that, not really her
because
call. But you know, because somebody's going to argue.
Time is running. You got to stop.
I want 3 seconds back on the clock because they never stopped. Yeah.
And then they start throwing out arbitrary numbers, especially if you lose, and they be like, it ran off 15 seconds. Dude, it was 2 seconds that ran off the clock. Like
that was the finals of the Enrique and Jack thing.
Yeah.
They should have never added time back on there because he kicked him in the back. Oh man, that fight right there. I was so, God bless it, animated as a coach, but I was well within moderate control. It was pretty scary for me.
So you were judging. Let's go ahead and talk about that.
Judging?
Coaching? Did anything else in that line? No, because we'll get to those topics later. Other than one of them, but the Enrique and
coaching
Jack.
in the Enrique and Jack fight.
Yep.
I have a problem because there is a rule in place that says if 1 foot is inbounds, 1 foot is out of bounds, and you pick up the inbounds foot to kick, you are automatically out of bounds. That is the rule. You can't fight out. If you were in the ring, you picked up your leg, you kicked somebody, and they knocked you back. Say, I kicked Cam. Okay. Cam was way bigger than me. I side kick Cam and he knocks me out of the ring. That's fighting out. But if I'm 1 in, 1 out, and I pick up that leg, I have voluntarily left the ring. That's not fighting out. That is the rule.
That's not fighting out.
Okay. That is not fighting out because 1 in, 1 out. As soon as you pick up that leg, you are out of bounds. That's the rule. So when that happens, because it's mat and carpet, there's no way you don't feel the difference between a mat and a carpet. Okay. So as soon as you pick up that leg, anything you throw is null and void. Anything you throw is null and void. I'm not even asking to get the point for you going out of bounds. Not what I was asking. I said 1 foot in, 1 foot out, pick up your leg. You cannot score. And they gave him 2 kicks. So 4 points for an illegal technique. Joe Perry told me when I called over and said conference, which is a new thing for me. I let them fight it and I let the fighters fight it out. That's not the rule. That has nothing to do with letting them fight it out. Now, if he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out and Jack was blitzing and he threw a body punch, Fighters fight, 1 in, 1 out. That's a legal score. But as soon as he picks his leg up, that is an out of bounds call. Now, 3 of the judges called the kick both times and said, we didn't see him out of bounds. The one judge who was in the corner said he was 100% out of bounds. Now, who determines that call? The 3 judges who didn't see it, or the one judge who absolutely saw the foot out of bounds? That is a tough call.
The one who was standing, if whoever's the closest one and sees it,
that's what I would think. Because like soccer,
I think it's like
like soccer. If the line judge calls you offsides and the center doesn't see it and you score a goal, they're gonna go back and call what the line judge called. This dude said you're offsides. You can't score. Sorry. End of the match. So they trust the judge who is in the position.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And so we lost 4 points to that. Potential 6 points if you say he was out of bounds. Out of bounds, there is no warning. That's an automatic point to the other side. Yep. So that's a potential 6 point swing in a 2-point fight. A fight that was determined by 2 points.
2 points.
So that right there puts a question mark on that for me, and only on that rule. So this is something that I really want to get squared away because, like I said, Cam was the corner judge. Cam said his foot was 100% out of bounds. He should not have scored.
That's okay.
It is.
But yeah.
It was. And 3 judges said score, so they gave him the score. I could have arbitrated that, but we were up by 2. And what am I going to do to stop the momentum? And then if I lose the arbitration, he gets another point. Now we have to fight to win that last point to win the fight.
Yeah.
So as a coach, as a principal, I wanted to fight the call. But as a coach who did not want to jeopardize my fighter, I 100% had to shut up. So like, that's something that I'm going to have to bring up. And I brought that up with Joe Perry. He said, talk to me after the fight. I was like, okay, I'll talk to you anytime you want. And so he wanted to come over at the lobby. He came over at the lobby when we was down there having a,
he didn't want to talk to Akin after the fight.
No, he definitely didn't want to talk to Akin. he didn't want to see Akin.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So other than that, yeah, man. And then, I'm going to do it. That bothers me.
What?
The opposite coach, judge, later thing. That just weirds me out, man. Nighttime show. Get rid of promoters judging. Secondary, get rid of promoters who are coaches of teams from freaking judging. Come on, man. How do you not see that's not any kind of conflict of interest? You don't have Don Rodriguez up there judging team fights if Paul Mitchell doesn't go up there.
Why is Bob the only one? Why is Bob and...
That's it.
Yeah, Bob is the only one.
Manny Sr. doesn't have a team. The other lady doesn't have a team. David Bossonette doesn't have a team. And Mr. Kramer is on AKA, but he doesn't have a team. Bob Liker is the only promoter that is a sponsor and a coach of a team that is also on the stage judging people who just beat his team.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying Bob cheated. I will not say that.
He's not saying. He said, I will not say that. But
what I'm saying is it doesn't look good. So, and just the way it looks. Jack beats Enrique. Bob is the coach of Enrique. Now Bob is the judge.
In a heated fight.
In a very heated fight with some arguments between the coaches. And then you have that judge or that coach and a promoter on the stage judging the people that just beat his team. Again, no, I don't say that Bob cheated and Bob didn't do calls. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why do we have it? Why do we have it there to see? Like, it just doesn't look right. The people that were judging on stage for fighting didn't judge the divisions. David didn't judge divisions.
Not adults. He did.
He did juniors. And I know he's a judge. And I have no problem with David. David was one of the guys I don't have a problem with.
It was funny. He said he's glad he didn't do adult black belt then. He said nobody's yelling at me in the 16, 17.
It's true. He did judge 16, 17.
I was like, yeah.
But I mean, the lady from the Destin Open. Like, no disrespect to the lady. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. So where out of nowhere you become a fighting judge at the biggest stage on the biggest level of the tournament. It just doesn't make much sense to me.
They always throw promoters.
They always throw promoters, except for Mr. Kramer.
Yeah.
And that makes no sense to me. Just the selection of judges, just two made sense. David made sense. Mr. Kramer made sense. Bob didn't make sense to me. The Destin Open lady, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I think her name is Holly something. That didn't make sense to me. And then Manny didn't make sense to me. The reason Manny doesn't make sense to me is because everybody that we fought was of Hispanic, like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those doesn't look good, of a Hispanic descent that all live in Florida and Miami area.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
What?
I just wouldn't say that if I was you.
I would say it. It just doesn't look good. Again, I don't say Manny cheated. I don't think Manny cheated at all. I think Manny calls what he sees. I will always say that. I've known Manny for many, many, many years, so I'm not going to say that. It just doesn't look great. Okay, so you have Tyson versus Jason, and then you put Mr. Plowden, Mr. Price, Mr. Kramer, you know what I mean? You put all the black guys with the black guy versus the Hispanic guy in that fight, and the black guy wins. Doesn't really look like it's the best thing. Not saying anybody is cheating. It just doesn't look good for the eye. We're talking about our perception of our sport.
Yeah.
What does it look like? How do we?
One thing,
you know what I mean?
They had a relationship. I don't see the relationship between Manny and Enrique. Is there one?
No, not Manny and Enrique. I'm just talking about proper.
I mean, Manny and Oscar. Is there a relationship with Manny and Oscar or Coco or whatever?
I'm not 100% privy to that. I don't know because Tony Hamasi is a Kempo black belt through the association with Manny. That's Team Legend. Coco's on Team Legend. That's a very, very thick bond. Kempo bond is a very, very thick bond.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Manny's a cheater. I would never say that. I love Manny Reyes Sr. to death. So I'm not saying anything like that. Again, I'm just talking about perception. Doesn't look like it's the best way. You have the promoter from the guy who you just fought against teams. You have an all Hispanic lineup with the only Hispanic promoter.
Yeah,
it's not a great look. Again, I trust Manny tremendously. I'm not saying he's ever going to cheat. I've never seen Manny cheat ever.
I just wouldn't put Manny.
I wouldn't have put Manny. I just don't think Manny is the best judge.
He isn't the best judge.
I love him to death, and I don't think he's one of the best, the quickest, the best at judging. So that's more of my worry about that rather than the other part of it. When you look at the whole total, it's just not the greatest of all looks. I mean, we still pulled it out. We still won. So it's not like I'm complaining that we lost.
He didn't win that fight.
No, Jack did not win the fight with Coco.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the whole thing because in that, no, that's right. Because Bob wasn't.
Bob didn't call nothing.
Yeah, Bob wasn't calling your direction.
So, and again, I'm not saying he was cheating. I'm not saying that. He might not have seen it. The angle and the thing, it's fine.
Yeah.
It was a rough go at it. And it just, the people that they picked didn't make any sense versus the people who had already been there and the people that you would put at that such a high level stage. But they always do that. They always put the promoters up there.
Yes, that's exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what they do. They throw the promoters up there as the judges.
Which makes no sense.
They don't.
And then you got people, and it's obvious promoters are going to pick the people who they want to come to their tournament or whatever.
I know that ProMac is doing what they're supposed to do, but I would say that they need 5 judges who are there strictly to judge and go everywhere on NASCA saying, hey, this is what you're supposed to do.
You have 5, you just take 5 awesome center judges and put them in 5 different rings. And at the end of the night, put those 5 awesome judges together and make one crew. If you want to have the 3 ladies
but they're the promoters.
No,
that's what they're doing. They're looking at the promoters as being that, as opposed to grabbing the people like just who are there, not promoters.
But promoters don't even care.
Well,
some of them do, but those are the ones with teams. The rest of the promoters seem like they don't want to be there. They don't want to do it as a judge. They get like, I gotta go do all these divisions, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know.
All right. Well,
I don't like the way they set up the AKA to begin with. The nighttime finals was crap.
Yeah,
they gave us an order. Now this is another thing that bothered us. Chris Robinson, who was the 30 and over winner, and myself, who's coaching Jack in the finals, went over and got the lineup from before we left. Mm-hmm. We show up. No, we don't even show up. I happened to pull up on Facebook. Emily had tagged Jack or something in something. So I pulled it up on Facebook and they gave the order, and the order was different than what they gave us when we left. They said we're going to do it the same way we did last year. Open weight versus 30 plus, and then heavyweight versus lightweight. Cool. Mm-hmm. We left and we went to the show. We show up and then it was runner up of open weight versus lightweight, and then the heavyweight versus the 30 and over. We understood that they were trying to get Jack and Avery into the finals, making it a better, I'm using my air quote fingers here, a better final fight. I mean, it didn't work out that way, but like, why change it from last year? Why tell the fighters what the order is and then change it again? Because they did the same thing with the forms people.
Yeah, you were telling me. I was standing right there when they did it. They were telling everybody, this is the order. Joey was like, how can that be the order if you didn't check everybody in? Like, you didn't check me in, you didn't check them in. So you have to check everybody in and push the randomizer. They're like, okay, check in. Okay, that's still the order. So it kind of had a little bit of an, seems as if things looked like a bit of an agenda. Mm-hmm. Jeff and then we'll talk about the forms part of it, but like they had traditional runoffs. They had 30 and over runoffs, and then they brought all of the CMX competitors in. So you have runoffs for 2 divisions, 30 and over and traditional, and then you just let all the flashy stuff go in? Yes.
Like, I mean, just go up there and tell who you want to win. Just say, hey, we want this guy to get the Warrior Cup. Like, it's just kind of, I won another side bets, people, side bets. I won another bet that Danny was going to win.
Danny Akin?
Yeah, I knew he was going to win. He was out for a whole year. He was out last year. He came back. It was his first show back. He's going to win. That's just the way it is.
And Danny Akin won.
So I won my $25 side bet real quick.
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, Joey going first, Chad went second, right? Or Chad went first and Joey went second, and then like CMX.
I told you I didn't watch. By that time I was downstairs.
Listen, I only watched it on the iPad from the lobby. So like I said, it was like Chad Cannon and Joey Castro went first and second, and then it was Aiden and
couldn't sit there for 4
Danny
hours.
And whoever. It just makes no sense to me.
All right, so look all right, I'm tired of talking about forms right now. All right,
my bad guy. My bad guy.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes left because we're up about 151 now. So let me. Who were your standout competitors that you just took away stuff from this weekend? Who were they?
That I took away stuff from?
Well, just the fact that people you were impressed with, people who look good. Who
Tyson
were your
and Jason.
type people?
Tyson and Jason was going to be an awesome division all year long. Again, as long as you, like you said earlier, it doesn't have the overpour. Mm-hmm. John Cortolo's adjustments and his style. He fought Enrique very, very well. Couple of adjustments. I can see him pulling that out. Mm-hmm. So John Cortolo, Kayla Mejia, Avery Plowden, he fought well. He made the right adjustments. He made them at the right time. And for me, Kevin Walker. I mean, Jack is always Jack, so I'm always impressed with Jack. That's Captain Jack. But I was really impressed with Kevin Walker going back to being the Kevin Walker that I know. Mixing up between legs and hands, movement, being confident in the things that he's good at. Check left hand was crazy all weekend.
Did you see who?
And then he follows up with 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. Not just the one and thinks he scores or steps back. It was doom, 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 doom. Oh, high five. That's a Walker move.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who you got?
Mine was Kayla. I was impressed with her. I was impressed with Morgan's adjustments that she made.
Yes.
To show that Kayla wasn't her rival yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That second round, like we talked about that second round, she turned on that gas and was like, oh.
No, all right, I let you guys play around for a little bit.
Okay.
Let me show you guys who the queen. So I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
Avery, yes, I was impressed with Avery's fighting. I was, of course, I just love, watching them. It's my family. So, let me think of who else I was impressed. I was impressed with, I'm going to say Jason Latona. Yep. He impressed me. Not because of how good he was, but the pressure he was under from being the point fighter pole of being that guy and everybody having a target on his back and really, I mean, it was just so
you could see it.
Yeah, it was thick and the whole animosity toward him was so heavy. So I was really impressed with Jason.
I got one fight that I was impressed with the other Jason.
Jason
Morelli?
Yes, I was. That's what I was about to
bro, listen.
He turned back.
He turned. Oh my God, that fight
because Java beat him
at diamonds for the diamond.
And I talked to Jason afterwards. He mentioned that he wanted to get
that back. Because that was a Friday conversation I had with him Friday.
He smacked Java. He ended the fight with 2 axe kicks.
Oh my goodness.
Old school, like Jason leg. Something else I was impressed with Jason. I was walking around with Alex Dingman doing recordings, right?
Yeah.
And we got to Jason's part. We got to where Jason was, and he was fighting. I can't remember who he was fighting, but he was fighting. He threw left hand reverse punch. Mm-hmm. I said, what's Jason throwing? Jason started. He not switching feet to throw a reverse punch.
Right.
What is happening?
That's a game changer right there.
I was shocked. So I was impressed with Jason just from the standpoint of him bringing his old leg back, but also adjusting and throwing his left hand. And I was shocked at that. I was like, yo, that's crazy. That Jason actually throwing his left hand like that, like a reverse punch.
I was wondering if you were going to talk about Jay.
That's why I was really I had brought that
funny.
Up. Who else?
Great minds.
Was I impressed with? Oh wait, hold on. I wrote his name down. Hold on. Where's his name? Santiago Alvarizo. Yeah. I was impressed with him. I was really impressed with DKS
as a team.
Yes, and how they were competing. I was really impressed with them. They looked good.
As a whole squad, they looked really good. DKS, good.
Vincent Rouillard. I was, like I said,
Vincent.
He's somebody I want to pay attention to and watch. And Rasha, man. Rasha Al-Nady. I was really impressed with Rasha. Really proud of, all of that. So.
I just was going to say, I don't know if she listens or not, but it was really good to see Sue Brazelton back out. She just had optical surgery. Eye surgery. She fought Regina. Yeah. It was a good fight.
Yeah, it was.
So it was awesome to see Sue out. So congratulations on your road back after recovery from surgery and coming back out strong this year. Cool beans.
Yeah.
I just said cool beans.
Yeah, you did just say cool beans.
That's so corny.
Let me go to this one.
What you got?
Back to competition real quick. He said something on this one. Let me just make sure. 21-18, I think it said. I'm not sure what this one's about.
I learned that I need this money. I learned that
what he learned.
People like me when I'm winning. When you win badly and everybody's booing you, they got a lot of people liking you. How many people actually like you when you lose? The person who beats you, he likes you a lot. That's it.
So the person who beats you is the only person who really likes you after you lose.
When you lose,
when you're winning, nobody likes you. That's
the American truth.
Yeah, it is. And here's the one I want to end on. I hope this, because it's just whatever, man.
I agree with you. No, what you want to do is motivate them.
Richard Plowden just came on. Terry Kramer just came on. You want to say hi to those guys?
Oh yeah, hi Richard, Terry. What's up? How you doing?
You were just talking about these guys, so these are some legends joining the live feed.
Okay, those guys right there are my team members. They're my team members for life. No, for real, for life. Just like Ben is.
He just says hello. Terry says hi.
Hi, how you guys doing? No, those are my team members for life. I will put things down. I would drop things. I will go and help them at any price. Doesn't matter. These guys all know me as a team member. I brought the team back from being down. I'm not pushing my ego to Richard or Terry, but I did bring the team back on numerous occasions. And I never lost a team fight. But when I got a part of that team, my winning individual stats went down because I cared more about team than I did about individual. I wasn't the same fighter when I got on that team.
Mr. Plowden saying hi as well, just to let you know.
Okay, tell him hi.
You're live, so you just did it.
Hi, Rich. But my team stats suffered a bit. I wasn't the same fighter anymore. And but it didn't matter because my team was doing well. My team was unbeaten, never been beaten. And I think we're the only team that ever survived a career without a loss. And that team had Billy Blanks, the type of Billy Blanks, and a guy named Richard Plowden, Andy Price, and Jerry Kramer, and me. The good thing about that team is we had lighter weight guys, which I hate. When we had lighter weight guys, smaller guys, and the other teams would say, why you guys come with 5 heavyweights? Why don't you put a couple of lightweights on there to help somebody else out? Our coach would tell them, no, I'm coming at you with 5 heavyweights who are just as fast as your lightweights, but way bigger and much taller. And we would hammer them with heavyweights, because we were all over 200 pounds. And the other teams had no chance at all. We would destroy them.
Mr. Anderson?
So it's him talking about his teammates, man.
Dude, and from my experiences, what I've seen of him for all those years, that's 100% true.
Yeah, that's him, man.
You could tell, like, with his team, he was the loudest one on the side. He was right there fighting. He was always there. He was working the call. He was in your face. He was motivating you. He was kicking you in the can when you was doing wrong. You saw when he was sick, he still came and made it to all the Kevin Thompson benefits, and he was always there and an advocate for that. And that just goes to show you, even with the start of his struggles and in his thing, he was still reaching out to people. He was still trying to talk to people. He was still trying to do the things that he could for those around him. It's
still paying attention to our sport, man.
Always paying attention to the sport. Always.
Think about
he's
Avery
one of the dudes
40 years after him, 30 years, 35 years of him after he's still sending out jewels like, hey, do this. Like, he's talked to me, he's talked to Jody. He has a clip that he talks to Jody on there on one of them. Saying,
from the interview,
from one of those, and he was saying how much he loved Jody and how great of a fighter he was, and other things. But he said he wanted him to fight more. But he's not saying anything he hasn't said to you personally, to your face,
right to your face.
And it just that's who he was, man. Like, and we talked about a lot of different things. We talked about we talked about Raymond. We talked about the AK Warrior Cup and everybody who fought there. And if you don't know, we probably are some way, shape, or form a descendant of him fighting, his influence.
If you do sport karate, you fight, there's no way that you're not touched.
Right.
You're under the big.
You're
wings.
under his.
You are under that umbrella that is Steve Anderson.
Him. So you got anything else to say, Chris?
Man, like I said earlier, the training sessions that are going on right now between those two men is absolutely incredible. The world of sport karate has lost, 2 back-to-back legends, and we can only hope to inspire and create the next group of champions for that. You know what I mean? And I just hope we can live up to that and do it right.
Funeral arrangements will be this weekend.
Yes.
Ashes spread in San Diego, California, with the assistance of his martial arts instructor, Chicken Gabriel, this summer. A celebration of Steve Nasty Anderson, where Kelly's funeral home, 2370 St. Joseph Boulevard, Orleans, Ontario, Saturday, February 1st, 2020, from 1 to 4. And you can go to Ben Stewart's.
I was just gonna say probably talk
page.
Yeah.
He posted all the information there.
That's been a true champion for Mr. Anderson.
Yeah,
Ben Stewart has been right by his side. Obviously way before and all the way through it. So, I mean, I messaged you, Ben, the other day, and I want to stand by what I said. And you've been such a champion for him, before, during, and after, and throughout your time with him. So, thank you for that, Ben.
Yeah. And on that note, we are going to get out of here, and we always leave with the music that we came in with. So,
when I see you again,
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. And what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last one.
let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see